In 2017, a tanker who fought in Korea once told me about the necessity behind picking up the pack for our fellow veterans. In just a few sentences, he forever burned into my head that our community will only be as strong as the volunteers who continue to show up. The amazing men and women who so fearlessly pick up our packs when we are at our lowest, at our loneliest, at our weakest, and now at our sickest. Friends, family, our villages in California, as we practice personal distancing, there still is uncertainty of how this virus is going to affect our businesses, our communities, our families, and our own health and well-being. But there are still services that need to continue daily in order for the DAV to be able to fulfill its promise. Since 1921, disabled American veterans in California have been choosing to continue to serve the men and women who have served before us and who will continue to serve long after we have passed. I work in an organization where I have the blessing of working with some of America's greatest men and women, spanning Pearl Harbor to Quezon survivors. Heroes who wake up to give back to the community that they've embraced outside their already selfless service. And these heroes have shown strength and triumph through all of America's greatest challenges, spanning the timeline of living through Japanese bombings in the bays of Hawaii to watching their children and grandchildren answer America's call for service after the tragedies of 9/11. I myself am a part of the OEF-OIF generation. My service, not only in the Marine Corps, but my service in this great organization succeeds many, many great veterans before me. Veterans who fought for the legislative rights for you and I to go to school. Veterans who fought for the ability for you and I to afford a home for our families. Veterans who fought for the ability to have a shot at jobs in high-level functioning areas of employment. The veterans before us did the groundwork to make sure that our futures would be better for us the minute that we walked off base for the last time, whether we served 4 or retired at 30. We, our generation, the OEF-OIF warriors of the last 19 years, it is our turn to pick up the packs that can no longer be carried. I ask you to take a look around at all of your organizations, whether you are primarily members of the American Legion, the VFW, Wounded Warrior, or Team Red, White, and Blue. We all personally know heroes who have fought for us who are now stuck in their homes, unable to get transportation to healthcare. And it's unfortunate, but by the end of this quarantine, we will have lost a significant number of individuals that we did not need to lose, and we can help that. And that's why I'm personally reaching out to all of my generation of selfless warriors. You, who have volunteered to protect America and all of its citizens within these borders, I need your help to keep a promise. One of the promises that the DAV has made with the VA is to provide transportation to and from the homes of the veterans who have medical appointments at VA systems. Currently, the VA has significantly reduced the traffic going into the hospital by canceling or rescheduling any non-essential appointments. However, there are many veterans who still need to make their hospital appointments to receive treatments like chemo, radiation, dialysis, and other health necessary procedures. But because the DAV relies heavily on volunteer drivers, and the majority of our volunteer drivers are deemed high risk, we have had to break our promise temporarily until we find a new solution. And that solution is you. My colleagues, my peers, my generation of veterans, we need volunteer drivers immediately. And that's why we have been working with the VA's volunteer coordinators to temporarily modify the volunteer driver vetting process so that we can get bodies on the road to get our veterans to their appointments. My ask is this. If you have the ability to step up in the times of desperate need, we are reaching out to you to continue to serve temporarily, but still to volunteer to serve those who served before us. I know that many of us have obligations to maintain the health and well-being in our households. We are not looking for anyone to stand up and raise their hand if by doing so, you will be putting somebody else that you love in jeopardy of living a healthy life. We are just as serious in slowing down the spread of the COVID-19 virus as the World Health Organization and the Center for Disease Control have asked us to be. But we are also absolutely looking for individuals in the community who are considered low risk, responsible, and understand the repercussions of volunteering in this high risk environment. and we'll take the proper precautions to get our critical health veterans to and from their appointments. Look, if I've learned anything in this role as the Director of Operations at DAV California, I know the strength in numbers. I know that there are good people in the world, and I know that if I reach out and ask for help, there are individuals from my generation that will step up to the plate in these times of dire uncertainty to help pick up all those packs that were forced to be dropped and put them on our backs to continue the mission that our ancestors started. Our heroes didn't serve their country and risk their lives for freedom only to be left alone to fend for themselves. Not on my watch. Whether you're a veteran or a concerned citizen, please reach out to our office at 562-404-1266 or email us at hq@davcal.org for a temporary volunteer application for the VA locations of West LA, Loma Linda, Mather, San Francisco, La Jolla, and the Long Beach areas. We raised our hands in support of this country. Just because we are no longer in uniform doesn't mean that we can no longer serve. I need you. We need you. Semper Fidelis, and thank you for your service. Stay strong.